Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Oh, go these things again. You doing it again.
Go.
Diet Mountain Dew. The breakfast of champions. The nectar of the gods. My man, Shannon Sharpe, bet me yesterday that his man, LeBron James, would make 4 3-point shots, and he teased you in the second quarter by making his first 2 attempts. And that was it?
I just knew I had it.
That was it.
I mean, keep on shooting.
No more. 2 out of 4. You lose again, 2 more cases. Thank you very much.
After that performance right there, you should say, you know what? After that performance, you can have them back.
You know what? I will give you that.
Really?
I rescind the 2 cases because I was actually proud of the way your man played. Let's talk about it.
Have you ever done that, honestly?
I have never done that, but I just did it.
Do back? Okay, that's
in honor of
something.
LeBron's game last night.
I need to hear what you have to say then. The Lakers got a gritty win against the Rockets last night, getting a 119-117 victory at Staples Center. LeBron scored 14 of his game-high 30 points in the final period, saying afterward, quote, "It was my job in the fourth quarter to bring us home and make plays." So, Shannon, scale of 1 to 10, how impressive was LeBron last night?
He was a 10 last night. As he said earlier, Skip, in the first 3 quarters, he looked like he was trying to get everybody else involved. He let Russ do his thing, was feeding the ball to AD, finding Carmelo, finding guys for open shots. And then when the game needed to be taken over in the fourth quarter, that's exactly what he did. Scored 10 straight at one point, 14 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers in the fourth quarter. And that was the most important thing. And he got back to doing what he can do really well, probably better as anybody, as good as anybody ever has, and still one of the top guys getting to the bucket. 9 buckets at the rim last night, 10 in the paint, knocked down 2 or 4 from 3. So he did a little bit of everything. And they took care of the basketball for the most part. Yeah, he had 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. Russ had 3. We can live with that.
You can.
We can live with that, especially if we go ahead and get those turnovers early in the game. Because in the fourth quarter, Skip, they only had 1, and AD had that one. So if you tell me LeBron is going to give me 30, 10, and 4 with minimal turnovers, Russ is going to do what he does. This was the best the big 3 has looked. And I think this is what LeBron envisioned when he says, okay, yeah, we can get Buddy, but let's go ahead and get Russ, because this is what they envisioned. A guy that gave him 27, 8, and 9, or 27, 9, and 8. And he's capable of those type of performances. Here's the thing, Skip. You're going to just have to live, and the Lakers are going to have to live, because LeBron is going to swing the ball, and Russ is going to be wide open from the 3. And you just got to hope. It's kind of like in football, Skip. I can't stop throwing the ball to a guy because he's shown me that he might drop it, and especially in crucial situations. You're going to have to trust that, and you know what? He'll step up and make it. But I thought Russ played a lot downhill last night. He didn't settle. Yes, he was 0 for 4. But at least he was from 3. Yes. At least he wasn't 0 for 8. He wasn't 1 for 12. He didn't settle. He got a lot of buckets going to the paint, Skip. Challenging guys. And that's one thing about him. He's going to challenge you. But I thought LeBron James deserved a 10 last night with the way he closed the ball game, because my guy Skip Bayless loves to tell me, I need to see him close. To really got Michael Jordan with a close, just took this game. It's right. And you like to say, Skip, this is what you like to do. It was right there for the taking. And your guy didn't take it. Well, he took it. He took it. Against the Houston right. Don't you say nothing about no G League. Don't you say a word about no G League. They played their tails off last night, Skip. They were making shots, and LeBron says, not tonight. And they cheated us too. Skip, how you take 2 points? Have you ever seen anything?
It was their screw up. They didn't count the fouls right.
Okay.
Because
but can we get the
4 fouls versus 5 fouls?
Even if you don't let them, even if you say on a 4 foul, Skip, you don't shoot free throws, doesn't we at least get the ball back? Can we get the possession?
I don't know.
How you rob us of 2 points and take the possession?
When it was your mistake, Mr. Referee.
Yes. And he did it so calm. He's like, what it was is that we awarded Bazemore 2 free throws on a 5th foul. It wasn't a 5th foul, it was a 4th foul. Okay. Give us the ball back.
Virtuoso, says Shannon Sharpe. Okay. For once, I'm almost going to agree with everything you just said.
Almost.
I'm going to give your man, LeBron James, a 9 on a scale of 10. And the only reason I'm not going to 10 is because it was the G League Rockets you were playing, and you were playing them for the second time in 3 nights at home. How you pulled that off, I don't know, but you did. And it was right there for the taking. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you almost got took.
Yeah,
you almost got took. Yeah. But I'm going to give LeBron a 9, not so much in overall impact, but in overall approach. I've said many times, LeBron James does watch this show. If he can't watch this show, he at least monitors this show through Rich Paul or Maverick Carter or Randy or whoever else he needs to monitor this show. Mm-hmm. Because I have been saying all along, LeBron, you have gone 3-point crazy. He came into this game averaging 9 threes a game, 9 3 attempts. Last year was the most he's ever attempted in his career at 6.3. He was already up to 9 a game. Mm-hmm. He was chasing Kareem. It's 3 versus 2. It's mathematics. It's, hey, I'd rather just stay out here and make a 3 instead of attacking to make a 2. I can save my body. I don't take the wear and tear.
Exactly.
I haven't always trusted myself at the free throw line, so I just rather stay out here on the perimeter and make 3s.
And he's shooting 77% now.
Okay. And how many did he take last night?
2.
He took 2.
How many
throws.
did he make?
Okay, he made 2. And I told you his new routine is sweet.
Yeah.
He has found nirvana at the free throw line. I hope he can keep it up for your sake. I'm going to knock on wood for LeBron because history would say he's going to revert to the mean at some point. But I love the new routine. Deep breath. Deep knee bend, and just let it go.
Yep.
Just let it go.
One dribble, let it go.
Just one big hard dribble and just go. Let it go up high and soft, right? Okay, so what happened last night? What did I see from the start? LeBron took over the show. He went back to playing what he should be playing, what he was born to play, which is point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. Russ played more off the ball. Right. LeBron, more than Russ, dribbled the ball up the floor last night. Even if he would just dribble it up and initiate, he wouldn't attack on his own. He would initiate. The whole first quarter, he initiated. He would dump it to Russ, dump it to AD, just let them go. Yeah. Let them operate. Mm-hmm. That's how it has to be. And his usage rate last night, for the first time in the games they played together, was a little higher than Russ's usage rate. Right. He let Russ have his touches because look at the shots. They both took 21 shots. So Russ had to be happy after the game, right? There's going to be no sulking or pouting from Russ last night, even though he was playing more off the ball. Right. But the point was, when it was time, LeBron said, okay, now it's my turn to attack, and I'm going to play downhill. And for the first time in forever that I can remember, LeBron James, what have I called him 1,001 times on this show? He is the greatest attacker of the basket in the history of this game, and it ain't even close. And he can still do it. What is he up to now, 36?
He'll be 37 in December.
He'll be 37 in December. Year 19, he can still attack as well as anybody in the game because he is LeBron, as in B-R-A-W-N. He's got girth. He's got mass. He's got strength. He's got physical impact. They just can't keep him from the rim in sheer physicality. He wasn't getting to the rim to get fouled last night. He was just simply making shots. Right. Okay, so let's go to the fourth quarter, shall we? And let's see the 14 points that he scored and see how they were happening, because none of them happened from the three-point line, right? Okay, so here he goes. This is 14 points. As you said, he's going to score 10 in a row. Okay, that'll work. And that was a nice dish from Russ, who does have that gear in him. And then that's just sheer attack on Shingun, who just can't, he's got no chance. These are sweet drives. They're ambidextrous drives. That was just a little fade away. That was, dare I say, that was Jordan-esque. And then that's left-handed. Yeah. He is left-handed by nature, right, by birth. And here he goes again. And who can stop that? Right. Well, why don't we see more of that? Here we go. And that's just a little jumper just inside the three-point line. But he can make that shot better than he can make three-point shots. Okay, we just saw 14 points. Right. Well, look at the fourth quarter. Look at what he did in shot attempts.
12.
He shot 12 times. Who on his team shot even close? Well, the next on the team is Russ at 4. Right. So LeBron shot 12 times to Russ's 4. He said, okay, I'm going to take you home. Right. LeBron shot 12 times. And if you look at the G League Rockets,
Man, y'all had
well, look at him. Christian Wood shot 6 times. So LeBron took more than twice as many shots as anybody except Christian Wood, right? Okay, so he said, home James, right? I've got this. I'm going to play point guard and I'm going to attack. So I'm going to give you all of the above. But what happened in the fourth quarter? He said, well, I got my man Shannon, and once we go up, once we got a little cushion here, I got to win this bet for him. And so let's look at the 2 threes that he took in the fourth quarter. It was 622 and then 127. But the first one was to put him up 7. And here he goes, and it's a little step back, fairly guarded, and it was wide left and a little short. And then with 127 left, this is to put them up 9 points, believe it or not. And he missed those 2 shots, okay? So my point is that we get to the end, and all of a sudden, my man Jalen Green, my pick to win Rookie of the Year, what happened last night? He finally found it, right? And he found it in the first half, not so much in the second half, but he found it late.
Right.
And what happened down the stretch? Well, the first thing that happened was you said he closed the deal, right? Yeah. Well, can we see the last 2 shots that LeBron took? Because these are the deal closers. The 2, I'm sorry, we're doing Jalen Green now. We got Jalen Green. I'm sorry, that's fine. Jalen Green made 2 bombs.
What he made on AD, I was like, I just threw my hands up in there. I was like,
they just showed it. Can we see LeBron's last 2 shots? These are to ice the game, to close the deal. He says, okay, I got this. They're up 5. I got this. And I don't got this. Okay, so that would have just shut the door. And then he said, I got this. They're up 4. And it's a little runner in the lane. And Russ almost got it, but LeBron missed his last 2 shots to close the deal, which opened the door for what we were about to see. Jalen Green makes 2 bombs, so we can see those.
That last one on AD, I just threw my hands up. I was like, man, see?
Right.
This is what I'm talking about right here.
Okay, here we go.
That was one of, that one.
Okay, that's just ridiculous.
Yes.
And
this one right here, Skip.
This is even worse.
Come on, Skip.
Like AD said, well, I can't. That almost touched the rafters, right?
It's like, I'm challenging.
Here comes Kevin Porter Jr. out of USC. Back in L.A., and that's for the game. If that goes in, they lose to the G Leaguers. Wow. Well, LeBron didn't exactly close the deal.
Yes, he did.
Well, he just missed 2 shots. That would have just slammed the door.
See what you did?
I didn't do anything. I just showed you what happened in the game.
Okay, but here's the thing. You disregarded it. Now, see.
I showed you. I let you see everything he did well.
But what you did is that you took the 2 misses and discounted everything else he had done.
Well, it's called the Michael Jordan deal closer. It's like, I'm going to make this shot to say game over. And he had 2 game over shots, and he missed both of them. I'm sorry, he did.
But my thing is, you never do that with Tom. All you do is say, Tom can play terrible. And as long as he have the game, set up the game-winning drive, you give him an A. What you just did by showing LeBron James' last 2 shots, you discounted. He scored 14.
I showed
10
him.
straight.
I gave it to you. I'm giving him a 9 on scale 10 because I like the way he attacked.
But you say, but he didn't really close the deal because he missed his last 2 shots.
Well, you said virtuoso, and I don't see virtuoso. All Tom Brady has done in his career is win 7 Super Bowls, 6 of them with game-winning drives in the fourth quarter.
But here's the thing, though. So do you but see, you don't discount. If he throws 2 incompletions, you don't say, well, theoretically now, he didn't close the deal because he did have 2 incompletions. No, you don't do that.
Well, because I don't need to do that because it's not the truth.
Skip.
He did close the deal with 6 game-winning drives.
He closed the deal because they won the game.
They almost didn't win the game because he missed his last 2 shots. He gave Kevin Porter Jr. a chance to make a 3, and it was just barely offline.
In sports, this is all sports is about. Is in basketball, make or miss. Did or didn't. Did you win or did you not?
Did somebody just call LeBron's performance against the G League Rockets a virtuoso?
Oh, so not in G League. They G League.
Okay. Did somebody sweep under the carpet the fact that LeBron had 2 little shots in the lane, 2 little jumpers that could have just slammed the door and said game over Rockets?
So in other words, for this to be a virtuoso, LeBron James, instead of being 7 of 12, he needed to be 9 of 12.
Okay, well, it's hard to have a virtuoso against a team that's 1-6, and the one victory came against Oklahoma City. That's all we need to know. Oklahoma City. They're just a bunch of children.
But you didn't say that when Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns against Chicago Bears.
Against the Chicago
Bears.
Bears.
When he threw 5 touchdowns against the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields started and they did what they did to him, you didn't say anything about that.
Well, are they like G-Leaguers or do they have some veteran defensive players?
Do they have any veteran players?
Do they have Roquan Smith? Do they have Eddie Jackson? I don't know. Yes.
So are they not NBA players?
They're
are those
NBA
guys
players.
not? Okay, thank you.
Jalen Green's like 17.
How old is Justin Fields? A season vet at 30?
Does he play defense?
No. See, now you see what you did?
Well,
you see what you
know.
did? When Tom Brady does it, it doesn't matter who he does it against. It's a virtuoso.
I'm getting nervous because we're actually on this show comparing LeBron James to Tom Brady, and we are going to get struck in this studio by lightning.
All I'm saying is that I don't try to nitpick and find a reason where he overthrew this guy in the second quarter or he grounded one in the fourth.
All right.
That's what you did. The man had 14. You said you wanted to see him close. He had 14.
Okay. Could we see the last 2 shots one more time? Because this man, I think, did not see them, actually, and swept them under his carpet. Could we see them one more time? The last 2 shots LeBron took, these are deal closers. These are game-over shots. And he said, I got this, little Jordan-esque fadeaway, and he don't got this. And then here he goes again. He's going to go across the lane and just a little fadeaway, and it's close, but never up, never in. Okay. So if you make either one of those shots, it is game over. And instead, the G-Leaguers wind up with the ball in their hands to take a 3 to win the basketball game at Staples.
Well, hold on.
As, what were they, 10-point dogs?
Can I ask you a question? Did Russell Wilson not have the ball in his hand to take a lead? All you talked about is what Tom Brady did in the fourth quarter, but it was on somebody else's hand to do it. Hey, Jim, can you run those? Give me those 14 points that LeBron scored in the fourth quarter, because that's what I want to see.
We already saw them.
No.
I showed them. I called for them.
I'm glad you did.
It was my choice. I gave him a 9.
There we go right here. If I'm not mistaken, the Lakers are down. So you talk about the missed 2 shots. If he doesn't do what he does, they lose the game regardless of those 2 shots. How? We're down again. Now we're tied. So what are we doing now? You're out here talking about the missed shot.
He could have been doing this the whole game.
No.
Yeah, he could have.
Bam! Now we're up by 2.
Yeah.
Come on, keep it going, Jim. You're doing real good, Jim.
Go, King. Go, King.
That should have been an and 1.
Yeah.
Now we're up 6. Look at this right here, Skip. Now we're up 8.
Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah,
to do this right here.
Yeah. He's driving on
now we up 5.
He's playing against 18-year-olds.
I just see what you did.
Yeah.
You now see the man gave you a virtuoso.
I love all that. I told you, attack mode. I gave him a 9, right?
No. Okay, if you'd have gave him a 9 and left it at that, I'd have been cool with it. But what you did, give him a 9.
Said he closed. Okay. He did not close because he doesn't have the clutch gene. We've known that for years. We've known that for 19 years.
So now only the last minute of the game matters. So the fourth quarter doesn't matter.
It matters, but he's always been great through most of the fourth quarter until the game gets on the line, and then you can't trust him.
But let me ask you a question. If you can't trust him, how does he have more game winners than Kobe and LeBron? And Mike.
If he really trusted himself with his new free throw routine, you know what he would have done on the last 2 plays? He'd just drive it, put his head down, and go to the free throw line. But no, he's got to shoot little fadeaways.
But time out. What did he do on the previous 7 plays? He drove the ball.
It was great. I gave him credit for that.
No, but you can't say if he was really the guy, he would have drove the ball because he drove it the previous 6 possessions. So how does that make sense?
Well, I got a couple of more for you since you've pushed my button now. How about LeBron at the end of the first half when they were about to trail 70-64? They gave up 70 points in the first half to the G League.
They played no defense. They played
no defense.
Yes.
And yet LeBron James had the audacity to drive it and dunk it and mean mug it like, I'm going to get these G Leaguers. Watch this. Watch this. Oh! 2-end, and he mean mugged to the crowd. I got him.
Yeah, I got him. That's right.
I got these 18-year-olds on the run. I just 2-hand slammed them. Oh, come on, LeBron.
Go, yeah.
Do it to him. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
like
one
that?
hand. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Then my second favorite moment of the night came with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter, and LeBron was on a roll. And all of a sudden, I look up, and we're watching the local telecast, obviously on Sports Spectrum LA.
Right.
And there's a camera up the runway up the hallway toward the locker room. And I look up, and LeBron is walking up the tunnel, and he's hurt.
That's what.
He's hurt. He's going drama king. What's wrong, King? I don't know. What's wrong? This is like right in the middle of the game. And I said, oh, my God.
It was the fourth quarter.
Oh, my God. What happened?
Fourth quarter, yeah.
Fourth quarter. This is five minutes left. What is wrong, Drama King? Nothing.
How do you know?
Back. I don't know.
Exactly. So you can't say that.
And he played the rest of the game.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it before. But this man knows that there's a camera up in the tunnel that's going to get him, and he's going to kneel down. He's going to squat because he's aching. I don't know what the problem is. Nobody even asked about it after the game because he came back and he looked just fine.
No, he didn't. He had ice on his back, had ice on his groin.
Okay.
Yeah, you saw it. Talking about did he?
I'm talking about when he was on the floor. Did he look fine to you? Maybe that's why he missed those last two shots.
But, hey, so what about the other shots?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I told you, it was great. He's flipped the script. Look, he went from 9 threes a game to only 4 threes in this game, right?
Hold on.
4 3 attempts?
But when you was coming out here before, you say LeBron James led the NBA with 10.2 assists, and he's down to 8.3, and now he's down to 6. You didn't mention that about the 10 assists. Mention that.
I just did. It was great. That's why I said he actually went back to playing point guard. And how they overcame the G Leaguers. The G Leaguers outscored them at the three-point line 16-6.
Yes.
That's by 30 points.
Yeah, and guess what? They going home.
30 points.
They flying back to Houston with that L.
With another L.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have L's all year long because they're probably going to be the worst team in basketball.
Them L's heavy. Yep. So I don't know how long it took them to get back to Houston.
Well, maybe LeBron asked him to stay over so they could play a couple more games against them. I don't know.
No, we're going pretty soon we got to take our show on the road.
Oh, dude?
Yeah, you know P.T. Barnum, he didn't stay in one location.
Where you going back to Oklahoma City?
We set up a big shop. Yeah. Man, we should put on a performance. Then we hit the road.
Do you?
Yep.
Man, I don't know. Do you play anybody besides Oklahoma City or Houston this year? I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, see, now we start. See, you can't come out here and talk about, I told you, Russell Westbrook. You didn't mention Westbrook. You didn't mention LeBrick. What happened?
Well, LeBrick, he went Brick City on the 2 3s in the fourth quarter, and it killed you because it cost you.
You know what? It cost you. But you rescinded that. So, I mean, look, this how I know you know Bron played good. He played so good, you rescinded the bet. You told Jenny you had never done anything like that before.
I was proud of him because he flipped the script. Way to go. He should be driving the basketball every game.
Man, you know,
he should lay off the 3 sprees that he goes on.
Let me ask you a question. If that was the case, Tom Brady should throw 65 times a game because they really can't run it. But he doesn't. He doesn't.
Well, they can run it like crazy.
Everybody can run it, but how effective can they run it? A lot of their runs is just to set up the pass. You know that, I know that.
Did you see playoff Lenny? Just wait. We got a long season.
Oh, but hold on. We 7 games into the season, and you talking about is it not a long season? So I think what are they, 5-3 now?
Well, I think
so they got 74 more games?
That LeBron passed the torch to Westbrook, and then he went back last night and said, give me that thing back.
But if you look at Russ wasn't standing around in the corner. Russ was cutting to the basket. Russ was doing other things.
It was better.
So now he's engaged. So we're just, Skip, it's going to take a while because none of these guys have ever played with a guy similar. Yep. Kevin Durant was totally different than LeBron, and Kyrie is totally different than Russ, and AD's really never had a guy like Russ. So now you got to blend 3 guys together that's really never played with another guy quite like that before. It's going to take a while. But boy, what a beautiful thing when it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What, LeBron was fired up last night. Did you see that? What he tweeted? Man, I can't wait to hoop again tomorrow night. That was the day before.
Yeah,
and
I told you
he
that.
He said he was inspired by Mahomes and that sidearm pass to Tyreek. Yeah. Well, wait a second. Mahomes had a QBR of 19 in that game. That was the 5th worst of the weekend.
Guess what? He also had a 19 QBR and a W in the win column. He got one of them.
Over Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones equal G League Rockets. Right?
Hey, LeBron was also happy about my Braves. You saw what they did last night?
I saw
You saw my Braves?
Yes.
The Braves.
That's
he was
fair.
happy about your Braves?
Yes.
I don't think he was.
Yes.
That was a big deal.
Yankees fan.
I know you're excited about it, Shannon.
No mercy.
Despite some speculation at the trade deadline, Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't shipped out of Cleveland. This came even after LeBron tried to use his sway to get Beckham moved, tweeting in the morning, quote, OBJ will show again why he's special. Wide receiver 1, #free OBJ. So, Shannon, how surprised were you that LeBron got involved here on this?
Not surprised at all.
Yes, you are. I can tell by the way you open.
Actually, I'm not. Because LeBron James views Odell as a friend. How close they are, I'm not really sure, but I believe he views him as a friend. And although the Cleveland Browns may be LeBron's favorite team.
Supposedly.
He values friendship over team.
Does he?
He's made that abundantly clear. You see how he left Cleveland? You see how he left Miami? You see how he left Cleveland again? He has these relationships, Skip, and LeBron James loves to see greatness. And he believes that Odell's greatness is not being allowed to be seen.
Yep.
I've said this. It's time to move on. You and I have talked about this offseason when Odell had the surgery on his knee. You and I both agreed it was time for Odell to be moved.
Absolutely.
For whatever reason, Skip, I don't know. I don't know why it has not worked for Odell in Cleveland. I don't know why he and Baker does not have better chemistry than what they have. But for whatever, it does not matter why. It is that it's not working. And so now it's time to move on. It's okay. Now, look, I get it. Maybe someone wasn't willing to offer you a first round or second round or third round. I don't know what. I don't even know.
I think nobody offered them any rounder.
I think somebody would have took him off his hand for a 7th round pick. I
don't know.
But, well, if you feel that strongly about it, let him go. Cut him.
I said yesterday I would cut him. If I were in charge, I would cut him.
And then allow him to go where he feels that his services can be best used, Skip. And I think that's the biggest thing. LeBron James, like, man, I've seen this guy perform at a very, very high level. I still believe he can perform at a high level. But for whatever reasons, it's not happening. And I would have loved to have seen it happen for my team. I am from Ohio, grew up about 90 minutes from Cleveland. That's my team. And I would like to see my friend perform really well for my team. But it has not happened. And I'm tired of seeing and hearing how this guy can't do it anymore. And I'm watching the games, and just like that video that his dad sent. Daddy went out there, didn't he? That's what his dad did.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes. That's a whole nother issue.
But Skip, I'm not surprised because I believe LeBron views him as a very close friend. I can assure you they probably have each other's phone numbers. They probably communicated, and LeBron is like, enough of this. Y'all not using him like you're supposed to be used. Let him go. Just move on. Either trade him or release him. You couldn't find a trade partner? Let him go. Because it's hard for me to believe, Skip, over the what? We got 9 weeks to go? 9 weeks. I think everybody, whatever the records are, Skip. I believe over the next 9 weeks, I don't believe, how is the chemistry going to get better when it hadn't gotten better in 2 years? So all of a sudden, magically, one of the two parties, and now we're going to talk, like you mentioned, we're going to talk about this later. Looking at you, man, I ain't throwing you the ball. Man, I ain't running hard for you either.
Okay, you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
My turn. As you know all too well, I am a lifelong, diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. Right. I was a born and raised Oklahoma Sooner fan. And trust me, we got gnats in here because they're smelling your arguments. They're on your arguments. Yeah.
You, because you talk bad about Go James.
You set them free in here just to come sick me. My point to you is that nothing comes between me and my Cowboys or my Sooners.
Right.
Not friendship, not love. Ernestine knew from day one, when they are on, I'm in front of the television. She cannot ask me to do anything. I guess if she had to go to the hospital, I'm knocking on wood, I would go to the hospital, but I wouldn't do it happily.
Ernestine, if the Cowboys are on and Oklahoma's on, take her back to one of those TVs. Yeah. That's going to get his attention.
Okay, my point is, LeBron is supposed to be a Cleveland Browns fan because he grew up just down the road in Akron, Ohio. That's what we're supposed to believe. Right. I don't believe it at all because I believe that he's been a lifelong diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. And I believe if this had been a Cowboy situation, he would not have intervened the way he did. Because if you're a true blue, or in this case, true orange Cleveland Brown fan, true brown Cleveland Brown fan, however you want to say it, you would tweet about, hey, let's make this work. No, or you would tweet about, I've seen enough, get him out of our sight. Right. That's a Browns fan. That's
no. Skip, that's not friends. That's one of your friends.
Okay, but there's no way that a true blue, diehard, true brown Cleveland Browns fan would attack the Browns over this, because that tweet is attacking the team he's supposed to love. He is trying to create dissension within the ranks of the Browns by saying, free Odell.
Free
him.
Yeah.
Let him go somewhere else where he will rise and shine again. That's what LeBron is tweeting. Yeah. I could not believe it. I was stunned by it because it's a bad look for LeBron to try to tear apart, undercut, criticize to the point of ridiculing his Cleveland Browns. It's just wrong. That's what he's saying. He's saying, you guys screwed this up. It's not his fault. It's your fault. Now let him go elsewhere. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, but I know you remember the movie Amistad and Jamin Hansu's character, Sinke, when they had him in court and he just kept uttering one thing, give us free. Give us free.
So we're going to compare.
Give us free.
Odell.
Give Odell free.
Oh, God.
I'm going to give me a T-shirt. Odell, give me a T-shirt. Free OBJ. That's what I want to wear. Like they say, free Pedro. Yeah. Free Odell. Skip, he's not doing it. Every week you come in here and all you do is show, this is a fourth down catch. Odell dropped. This is it. Odell dropped it. Odell did this. Yep. Aren't you tired of showing video clips of Odell not being where he's supposed to be and dropping the football? Why not let him go somewhere else?
It's a miserable situation for everybody involved.
Clearly.
He is clearly, as far as the Browns are concerned, he has become more trouble to them than he is worth. We saw the Charles Robinson report yesterday on Yahoo that we talked about, in which he said he's virtually untradeable. He's quoting AFC GM saying, where is the value in him? You have to pay $8 million of his salary over the remaining games this year, and his production has declined each of the last 4 years. His yards per game have gone down, down, down.
Yes, they have.
Is it injury related? Sure it is.
Yes.
Is he maybe physically a shell of what he used to be?
I think a lot of it is quarterback related too.
Okay, well, you can argue that, but I don't. I believe that it's Odell related because he's a solo act. He's sort of like a Westbrook, except his best performances are in the pregame. He puts on Globetrotter-esque shows in the pregame, which I would pay to see. But I don't see it manifest itself during the football game. I don't know what has happened. And once he starts, he's one of the all-time divas, and I think his heart is in the right place, but his mind isn't always in the right place. And once he goes south, he's going to pout, he's going to sulk, he's not going to run his routes hard, and he has to be the center of attention. And he had it great with the Giants in the Big Apple, and all of a sudden he wanted out, and he gets shipped to Cleveland, and I don't think he ever made peace with being in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I don't care how big a friend.
New York to Cleveland.
Yeah, okay. But LeBron, he actually fakes being a Cleveland Brown fan. When they get hot, when they're winning, I'm a Brown fan. I'm on site.
They're not hot.
That's what happened yesterday. He's off the bandwagon because it's blown a couple of tires.
Yeah, y'all ain't been hot. y'all ain't been hot in 30 years. Since the 80s.
8-3 down the stretch last year as Baker went 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, ranked 4th in that stretch by Pro Football Focus among all NFL quarterbacks, won a playoff game against your arch rival at Pittsburgh, all without Odell Beckham Jr.
What about that resume?
Period, end of story.
That resume. I'm not going to be able to hire you for this job because your resume hasn't updated.
But you saw it, and I said it before the year started.
I saw Odell.
I loved what the Browns had on paper, but I kept saying they've got an Odell problem, and now they kept their Odell problem.
They got a Baker Mayfield problem.
No, they got an Odell problem. No. It starts with Odell.
No, it starts with the quarterback. Now all of a sudden, a guy that's dependent, who plays a dependent position, versus the guy that has the ball in every hand. Now you blaming the receiver for the transgression of the quarterback.
34 targets he has been thrown. He's caught 17. That's 50%. And as you well know, being the Hall of Fame receiver that you are, that's lousy.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield has killed a lot of bugs, a lot of insects, skipping the ball and throwing the ball on the sidelines. I've seen him do that. I've seen him hit a DB in the back of the head when Odell has 2 steps. I've seen him hit Odell in the foot when Odell is running and he hit him in the back. I bet he couldn't do that again if he tried to.
The last 5 games, Baker has played with a torn labrum and a cracked shoulder above the torn labrum.
Okay, then hold on.
Yeah.
Well, then why won't you say that's the cause of the connection between Baker and Odell, as opposed to just blaming Odell? See what you did when you try to when Baker isn't playing well, you blame he got a torn labrum, he got a cracked shoulder, but you didn't mention any of that when it was Odell's fault. And with all those incompletions, what you've been showing, you didn't mention nothing about no labrum, you didn't mention nothing about a broken bone in his arm. But the moment Odell drop a pass, Yep. Odell terrible. Get him out of my sight. I don't want to see him.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Could we see those fourth down drops? These are big fourth down plays.
That's okay.
At Chargers.
Okay. I got a trick for you
against Arizona.
segment.
Could we see these just to remind
No, we don't need to remind
what's been going on with Odell or not going on? Here we go. This is at Chargers. This is a huge fourth down in the fourth quarter. What? Odell? You got the greatest hands this side of Purell. They work 99.9% of the time. That's what you said. Big drop on that one. Then we go Arizona. This is to get back in the game. Odell, are you scared of a little contact?
Man ain't scared of no contact.
Looks like you chickened out on that ball.
The guy made a great play. And Odell should have caught both of those balls.
Here's the play of the year so far. No. This is to get them back. This is going to win the game. Odell, and he wanted no part of that ball.
Exactly.
Odell could put that in his back pocket. In the pregame, he would catch that behind his back with his little pinky.
You know what?
He would just snag it with his pinky.
But see, we're not that close because Odell tried to have me with a torn labrum and a broken shoulder. So I ain't getting that one. That's on you, bro.
So Odell wants no part of any contact down the field.
Absolutely not.
If Odell says, I want that football is mine, you're going to have first and goal at the 3, going in down 15-10 to win the game.
Is that your guy?
Whew.
Is that your guy? Is Baker your guy?
He gave him a football that any great receiver would just catch it in his teeth.
Put that right there.
Yeah.
Put that right there.
It was pretty close.
No, it wasn't pretty close, man.
Yeah. You got to just go right there and catch the football. He just shied away because he chickened out.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that after you've been throwing balls at my feet, above my head, out of bounds. I'm not going to be able to make that tough catch for you that I would normally make for a quarterback that's giving me an opportunity.
The mentality is there is no way I'm going to risk my body for these Cleveland Browns.
And the words of Ricky Waters, for who? For what?
For what? That's true. That's exactly right. That quote applies right there.
Exactly.
That is why he should have been cut yesterday, and that is why
cut him.
They kept him, and it's going to be a disaster.
Why you kept him?
I don't know, because you're damned if you do or don't. You'd look foolish if you cut him and you owe him $8 more million, right?
These teams worth $3, $4, $5 billion. Jimmy Haslam is worth about $5 billion. What's $8 million to that man?
You're preaching to my choir. I would have cut him yesterday, but again, it's pride goeth before the fall. They tried to trade him, and they finally said, if nobody will even give us a 7th-round pick, then, okay, we'll show you. I don't think they'll be able to show anybody because it will continue to spiral nothing but down. Well, more trouble than he's worth.
All you got to do is say, you know what? We'll pay half of Odell's salary. You give us a 5th-round draft pick. So basically what you did, you paid.
Okay, but nobody offered that, or they would have done it.
That's what you offer. You try to get up off it.
Well,
when these stores have clothes, they don't say, come in and make us a bid.
But nobody wanted him.
2 for 1. You buy one, we'll give you the second one free, or we give you the second one at a discount. That's what you do for a sale.
It's hard for me not to believe they didn't try all of the above.
They ain't tried. I don't believe they did. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Well, I do believe they tried to get him up out of there.
Yeah.
And he's still sitting right there under their nose, and that is a big problem for a team I picked to win the AFC, and now I don't like my chances.
They got a smaller, bigger problem. The quarterback is small, but it's a big problem. That's your problem.
Well,
hey, he's not good. He's the fourth best quarterback in the division.
I'll give you this. They have a regressive problem because they got progressive commercials coming out the back end.
Yeah.
And just when I thought it was going to calm down this year, it escalated.
Exactly.
Like I can't turn on my TV. There's another one.
Yeah.
There's the one in the stadium, and there's the one in the Halloween Kids, and he's doing the ones outside. He's gossiping outside the stadium. He's going to the neighbor's house. It's like one after. I've never seen such an onslaught of commercials. You tell me, does that not paint a bigger and bigger target on Baker Mayfield's back? And he has proven so far in this league, when it comes to real proof, 0.
Exactly.
0.
I'm glad you finally said that.
Well, he won one playoff game, but that was the end of that. And he went to Kansas City, and even on any given Sunday, he could not rally the troops. Okay? I give you that.
Had leads.
Yep.
Had leads.
Okay? I give you that.
And couldn't do it.
He's not worthy yet of that many commercials. And This league is too hard already. And if you give the whole league incentive to, we'll put that little man in his place.
Yeah.
We'll see how many Progressive commercials he'll make next year when we get finished with him. And that's what he has been up against. Well, I give you all of the above.
Well, how about saying, Odell, you know what? And tell Progressive, instead of, I'm not going to be able to do this. Yeah. I got to get my timing right with Odell. So me and Odell going to come on our day off on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we're going to get to try to work on our chemistry. But instead, he's practicing lines with his wife at home about Progressive.
He well might be.
Yeah.
I cannot.
And now how that working out for you?
All I know is Odell is just a shell of himself. And all I know to cap this off is that your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, My Bible, it now grades Odell Beckham Jr. the 64th best receiver in the National Football League, tied in grades with Byron Pringle of the Chiefs. Yikes. That frames it. That sums it up. That's what the Browns are up against.
Yeah, well, what about Baker? Baker probably the 40th best quarterback.
I don't know. Yeah. I just know it's a big old mess.
You could have cleaned yourself of it. You could have cleaned it right on up.
I agree.
But you want to hold on to him out of spite.
Yeah, and LeBron just exacerbated the situation.
LeBron ain't do nothing.
LeBron just poured gasoline on the fire. Yeah. LeBron wants to create dissension in the locker room by saying, free Odell. That's no Browns fan.
The dissension was already there because your quarterback can't meet the ball. That's what caused the dissension.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got it. Next, we got some more drama.
I like that. I like that. This is the type of drama I like.
There's a lot brewing right here. Excerpts from Scottie Pippen's memoir got social media buzzing yesterday as Pippen didn't hold back about how he felt about Michael Jordan and his documentary, The Last Dance. Pippen wrote of MJ, quote, he could not have been more condescending if he tried, and also explained that his former teammate was determined to prove he's a bigger star than LeBron is now. Wow. Shannon, do you agree?
I didn't say that. I said it. Scottie must be watching the show. Scottie, I know you watch the show. Because I see it from time to time out here. And we have a conversation. We talk.
I'll bet. You never fill his ear.
No. We've never had a conversation about Jordan. We never had anything. He asked how I'm doing. I asked how he's doing, how the kids doing. He got a wine business going on. So, Skip.
How is he doing?
He was fine.
Okay.
He was fine.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell.
He was fine out here until your guy tried to paint the man in a negative light. This is what I told you this at the time, Skip. Okay. The Last Dance documentary, it was supposed to be about the final season of the championship Bulls. This was going to be the end of an era, the end of a dynasty. 6 and 8. 6 championships in 8 years. Jerry Krause, the general manager at the time, said, Phil, you can go 82-0, win the title, and you're not coming back. Jerry Reinsdorf signed off on it. Now, how Jerry Reinsdorf didn't get beat more with the bat than Jerry Krause, I'll never understand, because he owned the team and signed the checks. But that's neither here nor there. I told you this. The reports, and I believe them to be true, but if the reports as they reported, Michael Jordan gave the green light the day the Cleveland Cavaliers had their parade after coming back 3-1, down from 3-1. They've had this footage, was sitting on it for 20 years, for 2 decades. And for some reason, a parade, Jordan said, you know what, let's do this. Scottie Pippen says, hold on, bro. This is about us, the Last Dance. Why you gonna paint me in a negative light? Why you gonna mention 1994 when you weren't there? What the hell that got to do with you? Why you got to talk about Scottie was selfish because I wouldn't have surgery? You had the jump man. You the logo. So you going to get your bread. I'm trying to get my bread. I'm trying to put them in a situation that I can get my bread. Okay, they did what they did. But like you said, if it's your friend, you're not going to do that to your friend. If my boys, I'm not going to ever paint them in a negative light. No matter how bad it get, I'm not painting them in a negative light.
Whoever said Scottie was the friend of Michael? Whoever said that? Nobody.
What Scottie did say is that what was bothering him is that many believe GOAT James is the equal, if not superior.
He didn't say
that. That's what he said. I read the article. I read the excerpt. You better read it. You better read it.
Word of it.
He said what started to get under Michael Jordan is that this generation started calling LeBron James the GOAT. He said many view LeBron James the equivalent, if not superior. That's what he said, and you know it.
He just said that LeBron was getting too much acclaim.
So you know what? And everybody talking about, well, Scotty, let it go. Let it go. And Scotty saying, you know what? I'm tired of being the bigger man. And my grandfather said, boy, if you got to keep always being the bigger man, you're hanging around with too many small damn people. I'm not finna be the bigger man. I'm not going to let you keep taking your shots at me and I turn the other cheek. That's in the Bible. I ain't in there. I'm going to put something on you. Everything Jordan did, you co-signed it and a lot of other. He got 6. He hit Steve Kerr in the eye. That was to make Steve Kerr better. He swung on Will Perdue. That was to make him better. Michael Jordan was a bully. And the thing about a bully, he will only do that to people he knows. Not if he think, he knows he can beat. He never tried that with Oak. He never tried that with Cartwright. He never tried that with Robert Parrish. You know that and I know that.
But he would have if challenged.
You know and I know.
I don't know.
He would have
afraid of nobody.
You could not melt, if Michael Jordan was chocolate, you couldn't melt him and pour him on Charles Oakley.
Bullies at heart are cowards? Are you calling Jordan a coward?
I'm saying bullies will only do things to people they know they can do. They're not going to, if they think there's a chance, Skip, a lion will not go at a bull elephant because he knows his chances are none. But he will attack a calf. He will take a chance on an isolated female. But a bull elephant, I want no part of that.
Jordan would have gone after a bull elephant.
Okay.
Yep.
Let you tell it.
I'll tell it because I was there in 1998, and I first guessed this. You can look it up in the Chicago Tribune when I wrote again and again that Scottie Pippen should thank his lucky stars every night that he had the honor and privilege of being a co-star, getting to go along as the sidekick of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It was simply the greatest thing that ever happened to Scottie, and he's still riding Jordan's coattails. If he'd played anywhere else, and we saw him go other places and try to be a star and never make another all-star team. He made 6 with Jordan, under Jordan. 6. Actually, 7. He made 6 in a row.
Do you believe Jordan would have won those without Scottie Pippen?
He obviously, it's a 5-man game, and Scottie was a very good player, but not a great player.
Okay, but I'm saying, so if we put any other player aside Jordan, not Scottie Pippen.
But the point is, people are still paying attention to Scottie Pippen simply because he played with Jordan. Period. End of story. If he'd played for anybody else, any other team, any other franchise, any other co-star, he would be just another guy that nobody would care about. But people are paying attention because he's attacking Michael Jordan. And to call Michael Jordan condescending is the all-time redundancy because he oozed condescension.
He did.
It drove him. It fueled him. He was fueled by condescension.
Yes.
That's who he was. He thought he was better than anybody who ever played any game, any sport, at anything, and he backed it up. And he went to 6 finals, and he won 6 championships with 6 MVPs, and we all know that. But Scottie cannot make peace with the fact that he got to be Robin. And who was Robin, in effect? He was just, I guess, a close friend of Bruce Wayne's, right? Just some guy. He was just some guy.
I mean, he was theoretically a boy, a young man.
Okay.
That really did. He didn't have. He didn't have any
superpower.
He didn't have any belt. He didn't have no. He didn't have no car.
Anything.
He didn't have a cane. Yeah.
He was just Robin. Scottie was Robin, and it's a great ride to be Robin because it's called Batman and Robin.
Yes.
It went down in history as Batman and Robin, not just Batman.
The greatest duo ever.
Yeah, you could say.
But Skip, I think
dynamic duo.
I think that the problem that Scottie had was the way that he was portrayed. He said, Michael, you weren't here in 94. How did what happened in 94 make The Last Dance documentary? Why would you call me selfish when I'm out there with a bad back, when I'm doing things? He's like, all this other things that made it. Jordan coming back in the 3rd game of the season. What the hell Michael Jordan coming back in the 3rd game of the season against Milwaukee got to do with The Last Dance? Why was Michael Jordan talking about, I knocked on some guys' doors and they had cocaine, they had this and they had women? What they got to do with The Last Dance? Why are you bringing, so Scotty's like, hold on, why are you bringing everybody else? This was about the team, the coaches, the front office, the guys in that locker room. This was supposed to be our story, but somehow we are a footnote. Skip, I get it. I get it. Yes. But Scotty's like, bruh, I can't let you just keep taking shots at me. And Scottie was like, They sent him an advanced screening of it. And plus, Skip, Michael Jordan had final say. He had creative control. So obviously, it's going to paint him in the most positive light as it possibly could, except, when he hit Steve Kerr and there's some other things. Mm-hmm. But Scotty's like, bruh, a lot of this did not happen in 98. Why is it in the documentary? Only to enhance you. Are you not tall enough? Are you not a skyscraper? Are you not the blimp? Are you not high enough? You got to do this, take shots at me to make yourself even taller?
What did Michael Jordan do during his Hall of Fame acceptance speech?
Yes.
He had a list, and he went right down the list.
Yes.
I got you, and I made you look bad, and I made you look like a fool, and he went right down the list of everybody who had ever doubted or crossed him. Right down the list. You, and you. It wasn't a pretty sight, but it was the essence. Him. It was the essence of Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And I was like, thank you. At least you weren't up there playing some role for us, right?
Exactly.
You just opened up your veins and just bled all over everybody because that's who he was, right? This documentary was who he was. And I will give you this. I believe he got sick and tired of all the attention heaped upon one LeBron James, all the acclaim, if you want to go to GOAT, phony GOAT, as I call it, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he just finally said, okay, watch this.
Right.
And to be able to say, watch this, he had to pull up and allow a bunch of long-lost footage of practices that had never been aired before.
Because he had to say whether or not it was ever going to get aired. Because they said it, David Stern, and then when the new commission came on, Adam Silver, it was if Michael said we're not releasing this, it was never going to see the light of day. It's just like, I'm sure, I don't know what's going on, but it's hard for me to believe. I think I don't know if Tom's going to retire this year, but I can assure you, he going to know in his mind, and there's going to be a camera crew follow Tom Brady his final year, Skip, because it's that footage, because we've never seen anything like this, and we're probably going to never see anything like this again in the sport of football. Just like LeBron. I'm surprised. Probably Kobe had that too. There's going to be a documentary. I'm sure Vanessa's going to sign up on a documentary about Kobe's final season.
Well, and Brady's is going to be Gotham Chopra, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just know.
So, Skip, they're going to be playing. They're going to be cameras on the plane ride, the locker room. There's going to be all of that.
I got it. But the essence of The Last Dance the impact was that I believe that I think there are about 5 billion blind witnesses, followers of LeBron, led by you. You're the king of the king's followers. And I believe about 1 billion of the 5 billion actually had their eyes open and sat back and said, uh-oh. That guy was just better. And that guy was a bad man.
Because, like you said, Skip, Michael retired in 99 after that Bulls run, came back a couple of years later. So here we are, and that was 2020 when the documentary was released. So that was like 16, 17 years. So a lot of people, some weren't born, some was very small and don't remember. So Mike says, well, let me offer you a refresher course of just who I was.
He did. And you also need to be refreshed to the fact that Scotty left the next year as Michael walked into the sunset and he said, if you run my coach out of town, I'm walking out that door and I'm not coming back. So he retired on principle for the 3 years. But Scotty went on to Houston and joined forces with Charles Barkley,
Akeem and Clyde.
And Akeem and Clyde. I don't think Clyde was there.
Clyde was gone.
But it was Akeem and Barkley. And I know they were a little longer in the tooth at that point, but that team got blown out by the Lakers in the first round. And it was a strike year. They went 31-19. Then he goes to Portland. And they had a decent year in Portland the first year, but his scoring dropped to only 13. It was 14.5 at Houston and 13 at Portland. They got to the conference finals. That was the highlight of his career, actually, as a solo act.
They lost to the Lakers.
And they lost the Lakers in 7 games. But in Game 7, he scored only 12 points and came up very small, shot 3 of 10 from the field. And then the next year, his points go to 11, then they fall to 10.6. Then they went back up a little bit to 10.8, but they never got out of the first round. The next 3 years in Portland, and then he went back to Chicago for a
ceremony.
He did. Okay? So that's Scottie Pippen, post-Jordan, did nothing. No all-star teams, nothing, no new glory, no solo glory by Scottie Pippen.
Skip, I give you all of that. But that man do got pride. That man ain't going to listen to that you keep easy. I mean, because like you said, however many people watch that, they see Scotty get painted in a negative light. And Scotty's like, hold on, wait a minute, bro. Of all the things, I mean, you had to put 99. That's my lowest moment. That happened, Skip. And that's the thing about now, when you do something in sports, it's chronicled. There are a lot of times that things don't necessarily get the proper chronicalization that it deserves. That's chronicle. And I don't know if Scotty thought at the time, and I know he said because he's so prideful, if I had a chance to do it all over again and they did it that way, I would do it again. I think that's his pride talking, not wanting to admit I made a mistake. I made a mistake in that moment. But it was, Scotty deemed it disrespectful, but how he was played. And Michael said, I thought Scotty was selfish. Scotty didn't take too kindly to that.
Scottie Pippen is still relevant because of Jordan.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen has written a memoir only because he played alongside Michael Jordan.
Well, that might be the reason people buy it, Skip. But at the end of the day, still, you not just finna talk sideways to me about me, Skip.
Okay. All right. Have at it. But you better remember deep down how blessed you were to be part of that.
Yes, Skip, we're all blessed. But just because I was blessed, that don't mean you bless me. You think I gonna let you gonna talk about me some kind of way?
Okay. Have at it. Good luck. And trust me, Michael Jordan will lose no sleep over any of this.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna write a book.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna write a book.
About Elway?
About my first year, my first 5 years at FS1.
Are you? Oh, no, that would be a story. That would be.
They're gonna start chronicling me to work. They won't get production meetings anymore because your boy not gonna be.
Somebody's sleeping in now.
Ooh, I like this idea. Give me
my first 5 years.
First 5 years, and then your last 5 as well, Shannon, if you write a book.
No mercy.
The first college football playoff rankings were released last night with undefeated Georgia leading the way. Second was Alabama, followed by Michigan State and Oregon to round out the top 4. I know we're just starting here, but Shannon, do you agree with the top 4 right now?
I do. Alabama being at 2, I think their loss is as impressive as anybody below them win. Texas A&M is number 14. They beat Ole Miss. I think they're the 16th team right now, Skip, by 20. They beat Mississippi State, I think the 17th team by 40. They beat a top 10 team at the time in Florida on the road. I look at Oklahoma, Skip. You can't have a comeback win against Kansas. Almost lose to Tulane at a neutral site because of the hurricane that happened, and so Tulane was displaced. 3-6 Nebraska by 7. West Virginia, a walk-off field goal. Beat Texas, but Texas isn't very good. So for me, I got no problem with this. Georgia, unanimous, should have been the unanimous number 1 selection. Alabama, I can live with that. What Michigan State has been able to do, especially being able to beat Michigan at home. And I'm okay with Oregon. Oregon went on the road and beat an Ohio State team. That's very good. I think they're going to probably win the Big Ten. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up with Michigan State because we know Michigan State can play defense. They can run the football. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Skip, I don't have a problem with this. I think the thing is, and people are like, well, Oklahoma is winning. But in this scenario, Skip, how you win is as impressive, is as important as that you won.
That is true. So, I agree.
So you beating the team, you beating Nebraska, they want you to beat Nebraska by 28. They want you to beat Kansas by 40. They want you to beat Tulane, Skip. I think they've only won 1 game. They need you to beat these teams by 25 instead of having, to struggle throughout the course of the ball game with them, winning on a walk-off field goal, getting a heroic play from Caleb Williams against Kansas and winning that game, Skip. So I have no problem with the rankings as they come out. Now, it's early. Skip, we know Alabama still has to go to Auburn. If they win that game, they got the SEC championship with Georgia. So they got a lot of things. This thing's going to play out. I don't think anybody's going to beat Georgia. If Alabama make the SEC championship game, Georgia's going to be favored in that ball game.
Oh,
their defense is sensational.
You done?
I'm done.
My turn. First of all, Alabama did lose at Texas A&M.
Yes.
And at that point, they lost to the second-string quarterback because Zach Calzada had just taken over, and he goes 21 of 31 for 285 and 3 touchdowns against Nick Saban's defense. 41-38 home team.
Yes.
So it is a big L on your resume. And Oregon made it after going up to Stanford, or going down actually to Stanford, and losing 31-24 in overtime, but they did lose.
Right.
Okay, so I can't get around that.
Right.
So now to the only 9-0 team in the country, my Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah.
And before I launch on this, I want to make the point that as diehard as I am, when Jason White was our quarterback taking us to the national championship game, I said on TV he cannot play in the NFL, and he could not even make a squad.
Right.
When Sam Bradford was our quarterback, doing great things, putting up incredible numbers, dart thrower numbers, I said, he's too frail, he's too brittle, he's too fragile. I just don't like him. I wouldn't draft him. I don't know how long he can last in the league. And what happened? That happened. Obviously, I love Baker. I really loved Kyler. And I liked Jalen a lot. And yet, this kid, Caleb Williams, he is special. I already see more special than any of those three I just spoke of.
He ain't more special than Kyler.
Just wait. You have no idea what you're talking about. Have you watched what's happening?
Oh, my goodness.
Have you watched 14 touchdowns to only 1 interception? Have you watched 4 rush touchdowns already? Have you watched a QBR of 96 so far, scale of 0 to 100? And you say, eye test, it was Spencer Rattler, all those games you talked about, and they were horrendously bad. I got it. Everything changed.
You said Spencer Rattler will win the Heisman.
Again, he was was he not the favorite?
Yeah.
Was he not Todd McShay's #1 overall pick before the year started? I believe Mel had him second on his big board to start the year. Yeah. And then what happened? He lost it, man. And I told you on TV a couple of times. I said, he has lost his poise, his confidence. He's lost his way.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I knew Caleb Williams was special because he was the #1 dual threat quarterback a year ago.
Right.
But he did not play a single game of high school football his last year because of COVID.
Right.
And all of a sudden, in his first road start, he did struggle after the Texas game, which he comes in, they're down 28-7 against Texas. It's the Red River rivalry. Right. It is hard, man, because they're playing out of their gourds to beat Oklahoma. And he took the game over in ways I don't think in all my years watching that big Red River rivalry, I've never seen anybody take over a game the way this kid did.
Didn't Caleb Williams start against Nebraska?
No, he did not.
Okay, what about Kansas?
Yeah, I just said that's his first road start, and so they struggled in the first half. And then what happened in the second half?
They still struggled.
They put up 35 points, and he saved that. Can we see that play again? I've never seen this play before. I've never seen. You want to talk
against Kansas?
You want to talk about having presence of mind?
Yes.
To say, oh, I'll just take this ball and I'll run for the first down. And there was another 4th down play where he ran for it, and I thought he was trapped for a 5-yard loss, and he beat 3 Jayhawks to make the first down.
Question.
Okay, and then he comes back last week and throws 6 touchdown passes against Texas Tech.
They fired the coach.
Okay, well, they're not bad.
They are bad. Okay. So why would they fire the coach if they're not bad?
I don't know. Well, ask Lincoln Riley, because he blasted him for firing the coach, and he went there. Okay? He threw 6 touchdown passes. We're seeing some of them right now.
Wow, against Texas Tech. Wow.
He has got a rocket arm.
So where's Tech? If you don't mind me asking, Skip, all the teams that you're talking about that they beat, can you tell me their rankings?
What's your eye test tell you?
No, I'm just asking what's their rankings.
Hey, he can run and he can sling.
Skip,
he can run and sling.
This is not about
Look at this.
This is not about the Heisman.
Look at this.
This is not about the Heisman.
What's your eye test tell you?
This is not about the Heisman.
Shannon Sharpe, this is the best player in America right now. You're seeing him live and in color right there.
I'm asking you, can you tell me the team that they beat?
Crimson and cream, live and in color.
I'm just asking you.
Woo!
I'm just asking you. I get all that. That was some great throws.
Special.
Other than Texas, can you tell me the team that they beat that have been ranked at the time they beat them?
Okay, well, all I care about is what's about to happen, because after a week off, they get to go to Baylor, which is ranked 12th. And then they get to go, after a week against Iowa State, they get to go to Oklahoma State, which is now ranked 11th. They got it all right before them. And you said, but you predicted before the year that Iowa State would beat Oklahoma, so we got that on record. We got it on tape here. So we got 3 chances to prove, including a 4th chance against one of these teams, obviously, in the Big 12 championship game. So before all is said and done, we're going to have lots of chances to show you who we really are. Okay. Because he has changed the way my team plays football.
I get all that.
Changed.
And guess what?
They're different now.
Alabama, Georgia, all these teams will get an opportunity to show. But right now, we're talking about right now, nobody thinks other than you that Oklahoma is a top 4 team.
I don't know. I think some people do think that.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Where were they ranked?
Well, not on the committee.
Okay.
But I think people around the country say, and you know what? There is something to be said for winning every game. There is something to be said. For going 9-0. Something was happening pre-Caleb.
Not when you play in junior college. There's nothing to be said.
Okay.
Remember, that's what you just said. You said LeBron beat a G League team.
Well, he did.
So what's Tulane? How many games has Tulane won?
They're terrible.
What about Nebraska?
Yeah.
They probably going to fire their coach.
Bad. They play everybody.
You think Scott Frost has a job next year?
I don't know.
So that'd be 3 teams. Hold on. That's going to be 3 teams that they play that have lost their coach.
Yep, with Spencer Rattler. Okay, right? All right.
Alabama. Look what Alabama got to run through the gauntlet. You know what we're going to find out? In about 3 years, we're going to find out just how good your team is because they'll be in the SEC. And we won't have to speculate if they played Alabama's schedule, what their record would be. Because they're going to have to play Bama. They're going to have to play the Georgias. They're going to have to play the Floridas. They're going to have to play.
You got it backward. They're going to have to play us.
Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, you're joining the SEC. The power, y'all came to see us. Y'all come to see us.
Yep.
That little conference. Come on, Skip.
Now I'm going to have divided loyalties here. I'm going to have split personality because I'm going to have to watch Oklahoma play Vanderbilt, right?
You know what? First of all, y'all just collecting checks in the SEC. You know that, and I know that. Because y'all don't do anything in football. Y'all doormat. Y'all, everybody's homecoming. I've never seen a team open the season up as a homecoming. The first game of the season, y'all somebody homecoming. Y'all are homecoming 10 times. You shouldn't get tired of being people's homecoming.
We got a brand new coach, and we almost beat South Carolina, and then we almost beat Missouri. We almost beat them. Very close.
You just told me there's something to say about winning.
And all we have is the best baseball program in America. Did you see Dansby Swanson last night, the starting shortstop for the Atlanta Braves? Former first overall pick in the draft out of Vanderbilt University. How about that?
Okay, I get all that, Skip.
Thank you.
But what they got to do with your football team?
Well,
when are y'all going to be ranked in football?
We'll come back.
When are y'all going to be ranked in football?
Under James Franklin, we were always pretty good. We went to a bunch of bowl games.
I do appreciate your support for Vanderbilt. Like, you always believe in them, and you know what?
They collected a check, Jenny.
You know, they're going to get there. But I do enjoy this conversation, and hopefully I'll be able to report back Oklahoma at Baylor. That game is on Fox. So, look,
Let's go, Baylor.
I want to see Caleb Williams up close and personal because it would be a first for me. I'd only seen them when they were using Spencer Rattler. So we will see about that, guys. I love the Sooners. I love being around them. No mercy. The Lakers' Big Three had one of their most balanced games last night with LeBron scoring 30 points while AD and Westbrook both had 27 points. And after the game, the King was effusive in his praise for Russ. Take a listen yourself.
Get more and more comfortable. You know, it's always challenging going to a new system, to a new team, to a new group of guys. You always try to see yourself fitting in. But when you're a special player, you got to fit out, you know. And Russ is a special player, and he's being himself over the last few weeks. And we need that. We need the attacking, down the hill, most explosive point guard, you know, NBA history with him and D Rose. And we need that. So he's been bringing that, and we love to see it.
Shannon, what is LeBron saying?
He said that a lot of times, no matter who you are, when you go to a new system, you go to a new team, you try to fit in. You do everything you possibly can to blend in, but it's your uniqueness. You should stand out. Russell Westbrook is a very unique individual. He said the most explosive point guard, he and D Rose, because D Rose was Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook. He had that kind of explosiveness, Skip, attacking the rim.
I agree.
That's how he won the MVP. And he says, nah, don't blend in. We have role players for that. You are a superstar. We watched them last night, Skip. Russ attack. Yep. And that's what LeBron is saying. Bruh, that's you. That's who you are. And he cut down on the turnovers. Now, LeBron had the ball in his hand a lot more than Russ did.
He did.
And I think that had a lot to do with it, Skip.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, I trust LeBron's decision-making more than I trust Russ. But Russ is what he is. And LeBron said in order for us to maximize who he is at his best, he needs to be that. He needs to attack. He needs to get downhill, do that little kick. He's got really good at that little bank shot skill.
You know what? I've started to think that when he shoots his threes, he should aim for the backboard.
Seriously.
Try to bank them all in.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody use the bank more than Tim Duncan. You know, Tim Duncan was the bank shot king.
He was.
He was shooting pool because everything was.
Russ is a lousy shooter until he goes up and it's just soft and sweet off the glass.
He kisses it every time.
And they swish off the glass.
They do. Yeah. They really do. But LeBron is saying, Russ, instead of trying to fit in, because it's tough, like I said, Skip, Russ has never played with a player like this. LeBron has never played with a player like this. AD has never played with a player like this. And now you got three guys.
Nobody's ever played with a player like this because we've never seen a player like this.
So now we got three guys that's never played with a player like this, Skip, trying to blend it together.
Okay, I got it. The first time I heard the phrase fit out was back in February of 2015 when LeBron went home with Kevin Love.
Yes.
And Kevin Love was trying to figure out how to fit in with Kyrie and LeBron, obviously, or maybe I should say with LeBron and Kyrie.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one night, I believe it was on the team plane flying back to Cleveland, LeBron just tweets out of nowhere, stop trying to find a way to fit out, all caps, fit out, and just fit in.
Right.
And everybody assumed that was directed at Kevin Love.
Right.
And then he kept going, be a part of something special, exclamation point, just my thoughts.
Right.
Well, we all leaped to the conclusion that was some sort of directive to Kevin Love that stop trying to find a way to fit out, which I never could quite understand what fitting out meant when it came to Kevin Love. Right? I don't know if anybody ever figured that one quite out. So what was he saying to Kevin Love? Well, obviously, Kevin's not the special player that Russ is.
Right.
So with Kevin, he's just saying, just do your part.
Right.
Like what they needed Kevin to do was not
rebound.
be a special player.
Right. Just rebound and
shoot
make occasional three. Yes.
And I'm talking about be a spot-up three-point shooter.
Right.
Just sort of a cog in the system. Right.
Skip, if you look at him from when he was in Minnesota to what he was in Cleveland, he completely changed his body. Kevin Love averaged 12, 13 rebounds, was averaging 26, 27 points a game.
In Minnesota, he was.
He completely changed his body.
He also never made the playoffs one time in 6 years.
He never. He was an all-star.
Okay, he was.
But he was not a playoff player. But he changed his body in order for LeBron to fit in.
Okay.
Because what you were going to be required him to do, he didn't need that girth.
Okay.
Get rebounds, spot up threes.
Okay, because Kevin wanted to go back to the basket in the lane, lob it into me and let me work.
Exactly.
Let me shoot little baby hook shots or whatever I want to do to score inside, because that's how he played in Minnesota.
Correct.
And I think LeBron was saying, we don't need that.
Right.
We got that.
Right.
We need you to go stand up out there, and we need you on the defensive end, just get the rebound. Right?
Right.
Okay, so now back to Russ. He's actually flipping that script by saying, when you're a special player, you got to fit out.
Right.
Meaning, don't even try to fit in.
Right.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay? The problem I'm having with your answer is just the other day you're saying, I'm tired of hearing them tell Russ to be Russ.
Right.
You can't be Russ. Not with us.
But here's the thing. Russ being Russ is about 6 to 8 threes a game, is a lot of jump shots a game. Skip, if he going to play like this, the cutting to the basket, and driving, getting downhill, Skip, I'm all for it. If he gonna shoot 4 or less threes a game, Skip, I'm good with that. If he's gonna have 3, because Skip, what happens? You see the quadruple double.
Yep.
Skip, they can't. Russ being Russ with the quadruple doubles, that you can't win like that. If he had 10 turnovers last night, they're losing that game.
Well, they almost lost it anyway.
Exactly. And he had 3 turnovers and played exceptional.
Okay, so just for the record, I know it's early, but Russell Westbrook, or Brick, for this season so far from the three-point line is shooting 21.9%. It's just abominable.
It is.
And it's hard to live with it if it goes high volume.
Right. Yes.
But last night was at least a low roar.
Yes.
Where it was 0 for only 4.
Right.
And if you look at what he did last night, outside the paint, Russ was only 1 of 5, so he only took 5 jump-type shots, and 4 of them were three-point shots. In the paint last night, he was 9 of 16, while LeBron was 9 of 12. That's the magic formula.
Right.
That's what I've been saying. Now you're playing to both of their strengths. That's why I tweeted before the year started, I can't wait to watch LeBrick and Westbrook launch threes in the Lakers' backcourt, because they're both embarrassingly bad shooters.
Right.
And the combo of those two missing 3 after 3, and LeBron just went through a phase where he went 1 for 16, and Russ is still in a slump from 3 because he's terrible from 3.
But Skip, we've never seen 2 guys that a lot of their game is predicated on driving the ball to the rim be on the same team.
But if you can share and share alike, as they say to kindergartners, it's like your little kids, and you got to My turn or your turn?
Right.
Well, as long as LeBron is making the choice of whose turn it is, I'm good with it, and you'll be good with it. If you let Russ make that choice, it too often will be Russ's choice to just put his head down and go bull in China shop and just drive it as hard as he can. And too often, when he goes crazy hard, hell-bent at the hoop, he dribbles it off his foot or he throws it out of bounds. And we've seen these games where he'll have 10 turnovers.
Sometimes he gets caught up in the air with
nobody. We had the one game at Oklahoma City where we had the whole blooper reel of all those turnovers. And you say, what are you thinking? Well, he plays as out of control as anybody in the history of this game at an all-star level. He gets away with it because he puts up numbers, triple-doubles. Well, he's still doing close to triple. Last night, he wasn't that far away from a triple-double, right? He was 27, 9, and 7. Well, that's pretty good when LeBron had the ball in his hands more than Russ did, right?
Skip, the thing is, he's a guard, and he had 5 offensive rebounds. Remember, he almost had a putback that would have won the game to dunk off LeBron. So now, all of a sudden, he's a lot better in the lane. Now he's made 10 shots in the lane.
Nobody has ever filled a stat sheet with hustle stats like this guy. He plays he plays the hardest on the offensive end I've ever seen on a consistent basis.
Night in and night out. He don't cheat you.
Okay. So now we look forward and we say, well, what have they proven? Well, they haven't really played much of a competition. So I'm looking down their schedule. So they go to Portland on Saturday night. I don't know. I think they should win that game. But guess who comes next Wednesday? This will be a
Miami
week.
Heat.
Miami Heat come to
and they look good.
Right now, they look like they could be about the best.
Yeah, they do. They look really good.
Okay, so that's a true test at home. And then Chicago comes November 15th, and I'll call that a test.
Chicago.
And then you go on your first road trip, and it's not terribly hard, but all of a sudden, you start having to go to places in the East where it might get interesting. And then it boils down to, it culminates Christmas Day, you've got the Nets.
Skip, their problem is not going to be scoring. Because when you got AD, you got LeBron, you got Russ, you can score. Their problem is going to be defense. As you mentioned last night, look at this team. They got 117. They shot 3% from the floor.
Yeah, and they made a bunch of threes.
So that's going to be the Lakers' problem defensively. Now, they buckled down in the third quarter to get themselves back in the ballgame because they gave up 35, gave up 70. They had 64. And then they buckled down, and then they played a little better defense in the fourth quarter.
So I just want to reiterate to you, you were out of your mind about everybody encouraging Russ to be Russ.
No. Skip, if Russ being Russ means he's going to play downhill, he's going to limit the 3-point shots, and he's going to limit the turnovers, I'm all for that. But Russ being Russ in the true sense is a low efficiency, high volume, ball dominant, turnover machine. That's Russell Westbrook in its truest form.
You cannot win with that.
No, you cannot.
That's why he's never won before. I call him 0 rings. And yet, the beauty of last night was LeBron said, let me start it, and I got because LeBron has the highest IQ in basketball, and he's feeling like, okay, we're in a good place now. Let's let Russ be Russ. Now you go. I'm gonna pass it to you, and my body language, my eye contact will tell you go. And sometimes in the fourth quarter, Russ didn't do much. What was Russ in the fourth quarter? Like 0 for 4? Yeah, he was 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. Well, LeBron just said, get out of my way. I'm taking 12 shots. Russ took 4 and missed all 4 of them. Well, do you think Russ was happy after the game? I don't think he was real happy.
I think he's happy. I think because he's starting to show that he can play. Because, Skip, if you think about it, AD only took 1 shot. I mean, LeBron, they took 25 shots. LeBron almost took half of them. AD took 1. Bazemore took 2. Russ took 4. Carmelo took 2. DJ took 1. Austin Reeves took 1.
In the fourth quarter.
Yep. Okay. Carmelo was 2 of 2. DJ was 1 of 1, and Reeves was 1 of 1.
And they won the quarter 32-28, and that was just enough to hang on to the win.
And that was because of the GOAT.
Okay, well, the phony GOAT, but I'll give you this. That's the recipe for success. That was it. When it's time, he has to have the ball in his hands. If we just did usage rate for the fourth quarter, I promise you it was all LeBron.
So in other words, we need Russ to be semi-Russ, not all the way Russ.
Well, in the fourth quarter, he needs to be out of the way, Russ. He needs to be stand over on the side, Russ. Okay.
No mercy. 5 lucky
Lucky winners split more than $300,000 in Sunday's Stack the Cash contest on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. If you missed out on the fun last weekend, don't worry. We're running it back this week. So scan the QR code, download the app, enter the NFL Sunday Challenge contest for free, and make your picks and invite your friends. The more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot gets. Best of luck. And despite some speculation at the trade deadline, Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't shipped out of Cleveland, even after the receiver's father posted a video of Baker Mayfield missing his son on passes. Yikes. Shannon, were you okay with this?
No. It's not helping the situation, Skip, and you know why he did it. And Skip, what have I always told you? When a family member or a friend, someone close to a player says something, people, be it true or not, people are going to assume it came from said player. When Tom Brady's dad, when his trainer spoke out to New England radio station, everybody assumed, oh, they got that green lit from Tom. That's Tom speaking. Yep. That's just the way it is. So I was always mindful of what my sister, and thank God my sister really doesn't like the public eye. She doesn't like talking or anything like that. My mom, hey, Mom, because you like to talk. Be quiet.
Yep.
So for me, Skip, it was the right thing to do if you try to get traded. But here's the thing. What happens when you don't get traded? Skip, it's like you get a divorce. But it hadn't actually gone through, and you don't have an apartment to go to. And you still got to go home and see that same person that you try to get. That's going to be a very uncomfortable situation, Skip Bayless. Now, the dad put out an 11-minute clip. Baker Mayfield's wife liked a lot of clips, liked a lot of pictures, social media posts that was defending Baker. How that going to work, Skip? Your dad said this, my wife liking that. I'm supposed to throw you the ball. I'm supposed to run hard for you.
Yep.
I just don't know. How does it work?
I don't know.
You might think a lot of things. There are a lot of things, Skip, and I'd be very remiss if I didn't say this, and you covered the game longer than I played it, and you know this. Everybody that's in the locker room don't get along. But for the most part, you can massage it, or you're not, you in meetings, maybe it's an offensive player, defensive player, but you can massage it. But once it becomes public, now somebody's going to have to go. And it probably would have been better if you'd have just let Odell go on about his way. Because once this come out, Baker Mayfield has this thought, oh, you put your dad up to that. Odell's thinking, oh, your wife like it? Like in social media posts, huh? It's a bad situation. I can honestly say I've never been around anything like this before. Now, granted, there was no social media, but I don't know if I've ever been around something like this. Well, let me take that back. I have. Because I had a couple of teammates, their girlfriends or wives had a problem with their mouths. And I just went to the guy and said, look here, bro, I ain't got no problem with your significant other. But she needs to keep my name out of her mouth.
Okay.
Worry about you. Don't worry about me.
How did that play itself out?
You right, Sharpe. You right. I'll address that.
Okay.
First of all, you pillow talking. So if I ain't got a problem with your wife, I got a problem with you. Because you discussing things that's being talked about in this locker room. That's why she running her mouth.
That is
so
correct.
You address that, or we're going to have to address you. Boom,
I got
done.
it. So the irony of everything you just said is, my biggest concern when Odell first went to Cleveland was that he and Baker were too close because they used to like to socialize.
Right.
Baker idolized Odell and his celebrity, and I think Odell got a kick out of Baker because off the field, he's fun.
Right.
He's a little crazy, and he's had his escapades and episodes where he's had a little too much to drink back in college when he went to Fayetteville, Arkansas once upon a time and nearly got himself killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember this? Okay, so I thought that Baker might be a little too Odell conscious, centric on the field where he would force the ball to Odell, and I believe that happened early. And then, as we always talk about, winning cures everything. If you start to lose, then all of a sudden your relationship starts to sour.
It does,
and
of course.
Now it might be to the point of do not invite them. It might be to the point where I don't even know if they speak anymore.
Right.
Because Odell, even the clip, I don't have it at the ready here, but remember when Baker ran for the first down and got knocked out of bounds, and he's got the cracked shoulder and the torn labrum, and he jumped up and he almost runs into Odell, who's just sauntering off the field at that point, and tries to step out of the way, and he's got no use for Baker celebrating, and it just looked like terrible body language.
Right.
Okay, now back to the father. You played, obviously, receiver at a Hall of Fame level. You know and I know that if I had gone back and picked apart the all-22 tape, if I could get the coach's tape of all the routes that Shannon Sharpe ran in said game, I'll bet I could find 6 or 8 routes a game where Shannon Sharpe thought, I'm open.
Yes.
Why didn't you throw it to me?
Exactly.
Well, the reason he didn't is because he was under duress or because you weren't the first read or he thought somebody was a little more open than you or they caught his eye first or 1,000 things can happen in the pocket as you go through your progressions that somehow eliminated you from his sight line.
And Skip, I would go back to the huddle. I was like, T, I was open on that one. You missed me on that one. Or Mike would see it on and say, well, you know, you had 84 on said play. And so I would never throw my hand. I did that early on, Skip, as a young player because I had done that in college.
Okay.
So I just, he pulled me to the side. He said, don't ever do that again. Okay.
Because that position that he's playing is really hard.
Yeah, it's not like he's in a phone booth.
No, guys are trying to kill him.
Exactly, Skip.
They're coming from everywhere, and he's trying to keep his eyes downfield, and it's just hard not to see in the peripherals what's coming after you. 300 pounds over here and 300 coming at you full speed. And it's hard, and they screw up and miss wide-open receivers.
Yeah, they do.
What did Brady say on the pick-6 play?
I threw it to the wrong guy.
Mike Evans was open. And so I never saw the exact I never saw the all-22.
Yeah, he just picked the wrong side. He picked Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans they was running cross routes. Mike was going left to right, and Chris Godwin was going right to left, and he just picked the wrong side.
So I never saw tape of just how open Mike Evans looked.
He thought he could have put. He just realized that they got this other guy double covered. I threw to the guy that was double. If I throw it to Mike Evans, he's single coverage. I like my opportunity better than the guy that's playing. Because basically, Skip, what he did the exact same thing in regulation that Carson Wentz did in overtime. He threw it to a guy that was double covered on a crossing route.
Except Carson Wentz was outrageously double. It's like there were 2 Tennessee Titans who had a better chance of catching the ball than his receiver did.
But what we know about the Bucs, Skip, when they run the crossing route, he hit that route on Chris Godwin caught that route against the Cowboys. He catches that route, the crossing route. So they fit the safety a little outside. He jumped it.
He did.
He jumped it.
Great play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good thing he wasn't running the post. He started crossing, then go to the post, and now we got a touchdown. But hey, they guessed right.
So one thing I'm not going to do is condemn a father for supporting his son because there's nothing like the bond, the connection. It can be mother-son, it can be father-son. But in this case, father played at LSU, and he was pretty good. So he knows a little bit about what he's talking about. But to your point, what good did it do? Your emotions spilled out onto social media, and it only exacerbated the situation.
If it got him traded, Skip, it'd been perfect.
Perfect.
Because guess what? Baker's no longer in the locker room. Odell is no longer in the locker room. We're not going to have contact anymore. Maybe we bump into each other somewhere. If he out in L.A., we go to the ESPYs or something. We bump each other. Skip, we can, hey, man, how you doing? Good job. Stay healthy. Good luck, man. Boom. And we keep it moving. But I'm still in the locker room.
And today is Wednesday, and today it started back again. Your first practice of the week. And you had to interact somehow.
It's very uncomfortable, Skip. It's hard to dislike someone or not have a liking or not have a great relationship with. I'm not saying they dislike each other, but not having a great working relationship. We ain't got to be best boys, but if you work with somebody, don't you got to at least have a working relationship with them? Damn.
Yep. Especially when you used to be close. And now it's frayed to the point that it's uncomfortable.
That's why it's hard, Skip, to work with people or be in a position where we're friends, but somebody is the boss of the other or someone can control the other because if things go sour. That's what happened with Brian Billick and Coach Jim Foster, my former coach, rest his soul. Best friends, hired him as offensive coordinator, ended up firing him. It was never the same.
Never the same.
Okay, we were really close. Now I'm not getting the ball. You making me look bad. People think I'm washed up. Your family putting me on blast. How we get that back, Skip?
Okay, so I had concluded before yesterday, more trouble than it's worth right now. Just if you can't get a 7th for him, just let him go. Just go on because it'll clear the decks. You'll have a better chance and let him have a better chance.
Because here's the thing. You gave the stats that he's the 67th best receiver. The 67th best receiver is not going to help you win a championship.
Nope. It was going nowhere. It's still going nowhere slowly.
So let him go somewhere, get an opportunity to go where let him choose. I mean, somebody might pick him up, pay that last $8 million, or he'll become a free agent, and then he gets to
go if they cut him, they'd have to pay it.
Yeah,
but they're already on the hook.
He's a vested player. My bad. Yeah, he's a vested player. But he'll get an opportunity to go where he wants to go, where he feels that's best a situation that, you know what, they got a quarterback. They got an offensive mind that knows how to use me.
No mercy. Some breaking news out of Green Bay this morning. Aaron Rodgers has reportedly tested positive for COVID and will be unavailable for their game this Sunday against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That means Jordan Love will be slated to make his first start for the Packers. Shannon, what is your reaction to this breaking news?
Man, the Packers been having some buzzard luck. You see, they had Devontae Adams, they had Lazard, they've had so many guys being bit, for lack of a better word, by the COVID bug.
That's true.
And now you get Aaron Rodgers. Man, it's tough. But it is an opportunity. The Packers slid up and moved up in the draft to select Jordan Love.
30 to 26.
30 to 26.
Yep.
Kicked off Aaron Rodgers. Now you get an opportunity to see him, what you potentially could have on the road. Skip, you remember, Patrick Mahomes only started one game his rookie season. It was on the road at Denver when they had the division locked up. That gave Andy Reid the confidence, we should move on now. Okay, this is Jordan Love's opportunity. Now, Kansas City don't have shut you down, lights out defense.
No.
He looks like he's going to get Devontae back. Lazard is back. He lost Tanyan. But they have enough weapons offensively with Aaron Jones running the football that they should be fine. This is a Jordan Love opportunity to show the Packers and their front office, I don't know, y'all might need to hold off on, with your boy because I don't know if I'm ready. Or, Aaron, you act the fool, we're going to let you go. So this is Jordan Love's opportunity, Skip. So I'm anxious to see. I was really hoping to see Aaron Rodgers against Patrick Mahomes. I think everybody was waiting. Of all the games, I'm not so sure there are very, very many games that were going to be talked about. But I'm anxious to see Jordan Love because you believe Jordan Love, he that dude.
I don't know that. I don't know him. I didn't watch him one snap at Utah State.
But we know Halloween costume wearing John Wick.
John Wick?
Yeah.
He only wishes he could be
Don't do that, Skip. You a hater.
Yeah.
The man not as low as he got COVID and he wish he could be John Wick.
I hope he's going to be okay, and I assume he is because I assume he was vaccinated. I assume he'll shake it off.
Yeah.
But they got something going on up there in their locker room because it's going around, man. Okay. The first thing I thought you'd do is do handstands over there because you might be back in business with your AFC Super Bowl pick. You just got a huge break because you don't have to face your other favorite quarterback on Sunday in Kansas City, and my homeboy survived Daniel Jones, and now I'm assuming he can survive Jordan Love, right? Are you back in business?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because the defense isn't that good.
Okay.
Like I said, the mere fact that you said I had to survive Daniel Jones.
Well, I'm not sure my homeboy is very good either.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that, Skip.
Well, look at his QBRs. The last 2 weeks, they've been at the bottom of the barrel.
So you saying that he's going to finish outside the top 10 in QBR this year?
He's outside it right now.
Yeah, right now.
Okay,
He's outside looking in.
You should be able to get a little bit well against Jordan Love, right?
But no, you don't play Jordan Love. The Packers' defense is pretty good, though.
I know, but maybe they can do some damage to Jordan Love that they haven't been able to do even to Daniel Jones.
Exactly.
Daniel Jones he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. QBR said he outplayed him. Well, he did. Okay. So, back to Jordan Love. So, they did trade up to get him because it looked like Aaron Rodgers was in decline because each of the previous 4 years, his stats, including QBR, had fallen.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, they said, well, I guess we better get the successor and we better get him in-house. But Aaron sat for 3 years before he took over for Brett, right? So, the way of the world in Green Bay is we just need to have somebody at the ready, just somebody we can groom. And so they went up to get him in the draft. And then this is his second year, obviously. So what do we know about his performance so far? Well, I watched him a little bit in the preseason. So he played against the Texans, and he went 12 of 17 for 122, threw a touchdown, didn't have a pick. And then they went to Buffalo for the third preseason game, and he was 12 of 18 for 149, pretty good. No touchdowns, but he did throw one pick. So two pretty good preseason outings, and I don't know what to read into it. because it's in this year in the preseason, it seemed like nobody took it seriously.
Right.
Okay? Dak Prescott didn't play a single snap and went to Tampa Bay and looked like a world beater.
And unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be a recurring theme. Nobody's stars are going to be played in the preseason.
I got it. So I didn't even watch the end of the opener at Jacksonville against New Orleans, but they got rocked and socked in the mouth, and Jordan Love got mop up. And he got garbage time. So he goes in and takes 15 snaps and goes 5 of 7 for 68 yards. I don't know what to read into that. But he didn't look bad.
Right.
He didn't look bad in the preseason, but I'm not sure he looked great because I'm just not sure of the competition he was playing.
This is the thing, Skip. This is a whole different ball game. Now, there's not a whole lot of tape on Jordan Love, but now you approach Jordan Love a lot different than you approached Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think you make Jordan Love fit the ball in the tight windows.
Okay.
You couldn't get it.
All right, good. I got it. I think it is a huge deal for Packer Nation to see what this kid can do under some fire on a big, it's going to be a big national game on Fox because it already was hyped. It was coming. So he's going to have to come in and see if he can Cooper Rush it, right?
Yeah.
Can you Cooper Rush this? Can you do what my...
Man, stop it.
Well, can you do what my
The difference is the other guy ain't Kirk Cousins. Okay. That's Patrick Mahomes, boy.
Well, he's been playing like Kirk Cousins.
Don't do that, Skip. No, he has not.
He has been, like I told you yesterday, he was like a parody of himself.
All I know is when the game was tied, my homeboy went down there and got in field goal range.
Well, did he?
Kirk Cousins couldn't do that.
He got a phantom face mask call.
Don't do that. He still had the first down.
Threw an interception with a little
The man
barely
was offside. Ain't no barely. Oh, hold on. What about
unraveling?
You should know what it's like to be offside in that stadium. Because I remember Tom Brady got a break come up an offside in that stadium.
He did.
Okay.
And then what did he do in overtime?
Okay, what my guy do?
Have you ever seen anybody convert 3 straight 3rd and 10s?
Yeah.
Go score?
I know. I'll tell you what, I've never, ever seen in all my life. A guy throw for 505 yards in the Super Bowl and have the ball in his hand with a chance to tie the game and lose.
Really? And throw a Hail Mary to Rob Gronkowski, who looked like he should have had the ball because it was a perfect Hail Mary.
Your guy had the ball in his hand.
If he caught it, Brady's got another one.
Your guy had the ball in his hand.
Huh.
That's what I'm saying.
He got fouled by about...
No, I don't want to see. There you go. Why you do that?
Okay, so back to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers bounced back. He was challenged, and he won the MVP last year, and then he tried to hold them hostage the whole offseason.
And did it.
And he pulled it off, but he didn't get any more money.
He didn't want money.
He just got a little love. He wanted some love.
What we tell you?
He got a little love, but he didn't get Jordan love,
We didn't want your stinking money.
Okay, so what do I know about Jordan Love? Well, our friend Lil Wayne, I talk to him often. He's a Packer fanatic. Keeps in close touch with a lot of the Packers, and he always hears that in practice, for what it's worth, Jordan Love looks pretty good. Like he looks like he is the real deal.
He look better than Aaron Rodgers?
Well, obviously not.
Oh, well,
but at what point will Aaron not look like Aaron?
I don't know, probably like another 5 years.
He's starting to look like this aging hippie.
No,
right?
Don't do that, Skip.
Well,
I mean, 17-3. Can I interest you in that?
Yeah, well.
I mean, the man in the last 2.5 years, he's thrown for 89 touchdowns and 10 picks. Can I interest you in that?
Well, he's found his bliss, but sometimes I'm afraid he's just going to walk off into the sunset after the year and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
We still got unfinished. He got unfinished business.
Does he?
He got to do something bad to you know who.
I don't think he wants to play until he's 44.
Why you worried about that? He can be good till he's 42. I mean, everybody ain't trying to play till they're 40. Everybody got things want to get on with their life. Yeah. Unfortunately, somebody else, everything is tied to football, and they got no life outside of football, so they're trying to hang on to that. But I think Miss Brady is going to have a say in how much longer he plays.
She hadn't yet.
Nah, I've been saying Miss Brady gonna be talking pretty soon. She gonna put them stilettos down. She gonna put those heels down.
Does she want an unhappy husband?
Do you want happy life, happy wife? Is that what you want?
I'm not sure that's operating.
Okay.
Yeah,
Miss Boochin.
Yeah.
I think she's already retired.
And Miss Boochin, she wears the pants in that family because she the big breadwinner.
I'm not sure.
She got the most money.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she got the most money.
Okay.
I love that.
One last thought on your man, Aaron Rodgers. All I care about is not the regular season. I care about the post. And that's all Packer Nation cares about is that he is now 1-4 in the NFC Championship games because they don't care about these MVPs and putting up all these gaudy numbers during the regular season.
If you don't put up these numbers, you're not going to even get an opportunity. Okay, well, all you can ask for is an opportunity.
Yeah, well, he keeps leaving them at the altar, so to speak, in the NFC Championship game. 1-4, and he finally got a home one. And he finally got it first and goal at the 8 in the fourth quarter. And what did he do? Wait.
Man, there you go. Why you the man got COVID.
I mean, Jordan Love could throw a better ball than that.
The man got COVID.
Jordan Love could definitely throw a better ball than that. And Jordan Love would have run this home. He would have just run this home because Jordan Love can move a little bit.
Jordan Love would have been that skip.
I look what Jordan Love might have done in that game right there. Maybe you get to a Super Bowl with Jordan Love.
I can't believe you did this. This man got COVID. This man is sick. And you show.
He's going to be okay.
Oh, he ain't okay right now. That ain't what he wants to hear.
He's going to be.
And you show.
Fine.
And you showing what he should have done last year.
This is what's happening on Sunday, live on Fox. We're going to see the future of the Packers, or maybe not.
I can't believe.
But maybe we'll say he Cooper rushed. Maybe he will Cooper rush the Chiefs.
There used to be couth among people on television and show.
I'm just
you just
thinking,
show the man at his worst.
What is it in Green Bay
that's
right
who
now?
He is.
10:30. So Jordan Love, quite a morning for him, right?
Yeah.
We, of course, want Aaron Rodgers to be well and get better soon, but all eyes will be on Jordan Love. I now can't even wait to see that. It almost makes it more exciting in a lot of ways. Let's see it on display. This is a big deal.
No mercy.
In just the first few weeks of the NBA season, we are seeing a new LeBron James. He has taken the fewest percent of his shots at the rim in his career while taking the highest percent of his shots from beyond the arc. This has also led to the fewest free throw attempts per game in his career. Shannon, which LeBron do you prefer, scoring inside or outside?
I prefer the ball going in the hoop. So whichever one he can do it in, and he can do them both at a very high
clip. That's a bad answer. You gotta pick a side.
I pick Skip. The greatest thing for survival is adaptability. It's not speed, it's not size, it's not strength. LeBron James being able to adapt with different players, from playing alongside D. Wade to playing alongside Kyrie and Kevin Love and now AD and Russ, that's what makes him so great, is that he's able to adapt and still give you 25, 8, and 6 on a nightly basis. How many guys can do that? Yeah, exactly, that many.
You're not answering the question.
What you mean, Skip? He has to adapt. He and Russ cannot, it's hard for he and Russ every single game to occupy the same space. There's a reason why they have planes take off at different times, because they can't all take off at the same time. He and Russ can't all be in the lane at the same time. See, what you try to do is try to make it as a knock, but what he's doing is says, you know what? But tell the story. When Russ is off the court, what is he doing? The numbers go back up. His free throws go back up triple. His driving to the basket goes up. So what he's doing is that he's adapting. Playing with Russ doesn't allow him to drive the ball and be in the paint as much as it normally would. While you try to look at that as a knock, I look at it as him being able to adapt and still be able to have an imprint on the ball game. You can't see that because you see an aging. I don't see nothing aging. I see a guy went and got 30, 10, and 6 last night. Gave you 14. I saw a guy do it the other night, do an up and under dunk, reverse, in year 19. Don't do that, Skip. He's still great, gonna be great for another 2-3 years.
You are refusing to acknowledge the obvious. Going into last night, he was averaging 9 3-point attempts per game.
Okay.
It was out of control, ridiculously, preposterously high for a guy who's a career 34.5% three-point shooter. I'll be nice. He's a below-average three-point shooter who is suddenly taking high-volume threes.
Okay.
It will not work. I thought he was simply chasing Kareem because it's much easier in year 19 to launch threes because there's no wear and tear on your body. You don't have to go down the lane and bang into people. You don't have to worry about going to the free throw line and making your other Achilles heel work, which is your free throw shooting, which has been below 70% for the last 5 years. So if you just launch threes, let Russ play point guard, threes count more than twos. He's just doing the math. Well, I can catch up to Kareem faster if I can just shoot a whole bunch of threes and make 35% of them. Then I'll get there faster. That's not how you win basketball games. And I told you to start this show today, I was so proud of your man LeBron because he flipped the script. The new LeBron last night was actually the old LeBron. It was a blast from the great past.
Skip.
Was it not?
I was,
Did
but
you
I'm
not
just trying to explain that to you.
Okay.
He's trying to find out what's the most effective way that I can play with Russ. Last night, he's finding out that these are some of the things that I can do and still be LeBron, get to the basket, by still allowing Russ to be Russ.
Okay, so we had a bet going into last night.
Yes.
You said you thought he would bounce back from his 1 of 16 stretch from 3 and make 4 threes.
Yes.
And I thought in the second quarter you had me because we see what happened in the second quarter? Almost on back-to-back possession. I think it was back-to-back possession.
They were.
LeBron did this. He made 2 threes. He corner 3, it's the shortest three-point shot, and he made it. And I thought, uh-oh, here he comes. And he just pulled right up. They didn't even guard him. And he ripped it. And I said, I am cooked for tonight because that was 9:50 left in the second quarter. And I'm thinking, I got 2.5 quarters left, more than 2.5 quarters. And I thought, here we go.
And I was like, I'm absolutely certain that LeBron can go 2 for 9 and win me this due.
And what did I say when the game ended? I said to myself, LeBron James just shocked me, pleasantly surprised me, because he refrained from falling back in love with that ex who is bad news for him. He did not fall completely back. I thought he would go 3 spree crazy. I thought from that moment on, after he made his first 2, I thought he would launch 12 for the game and he would end up making maybe 5 or 6 of them and you would win the bet. But instead, he refrained because he said, that's not how we're going to win this game tonight, because he liked the feel of how Russ was playing off the ball. Right?
Yes, but so can we not just say, okay, this is what's happening 8 games in?
And by the way, just to finish that off for those who didn't see the game late last night, at least on the East Coast, he only tried 2 more, and it was pretty late in the fourth quarter. And he missed both of those when he could have just put it away. I think they were up 5 and up. It could have put him up 5 and up 7. But the point was, he only tried 2 more threes the whole night. And he didn't get to the free throw line at all, except early. He got one on his first drive to the basket. He went and he swished both of them. Good for him. And from that point on, he drove it like crazy, but he was getting so free to the hoop that they were even fouling him.
But I thought you said he was afraid to drive the ball because he didn't want to go to the free throw line.
I thought he was, but these guys are so bad. This is the G League
that ain't so bad. That is so bad.
Nobody can guard him.
How about this, Skip? Before we get this analysis, this is what LeBron doing. This is 8 games in. He's playing with Russ, a guy that's very, very unique and not the easiest guy to play with because he's not a great shooter. He doesn't do a whole lot without the ball. He needs the ball. LeBron is a ball dominant. He needs the ball. I want the ball in LeBron's hands. I don't care the situation.
Last night he had the ball more than Russ. That was the first time since they played together where LeBron dominated the basketball.
So he's trying to find, how can I be most effective, get the most out of AD while also getting the most out of Russ. So everybody just thought this is not like it would be if he had Steph Curry. Well, it'd be easy because Steph Curry doesn't do anything but run off screens anyway. Steph Curry would be great. That's why KD was so good. KD didn't need the ball. KD we could just pass the ball to KD, and KD could pull up. He could post you up and shoot off either leg over right and left shoulder, or he could hit the 3.
So last night was the recipe for success because Russ shot 5 times outside the paint and made only 1. But he shot 16 shots in the paint and made 9. But LeBron shot 8 times outside the paint and made 4 of them. Not bad. But he shot 12 times in the lane and made 9 of them. Well, they're just killing them inside the paint.
They wore them out in paint
there
points.
You go. Thank you.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. We got to find out what works. Isn't that what Tom did? Did Tom not have practice? Did they not have growing pains early?
Did they?
Okay. So we have a little growing pains, and you just ready to throw in the towel.
No, I'm saying congratulations. And congratulations to me because I won yet another bet.
No.
Thank you,
that bet got rescinded. I thought you said you rescinded
I rescinded the actual payout.
No mercy. Saturday, C.J. Stroud leads number 5, Ohio State's electrifying offensive attack against Nebraska in the Big Noon Saturday Game of the Week. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff pregame crew at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then it's Ohio State, Nebraska, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And the link for that one Should be good. Well, guys, Chris Paul has already led the league in steals 6 times, assists 5 times, selected to 11 All-Star teams, and made the NBA 75th anniversary team. He's added to that list of accomplishments last night by moving into 3rd on the all-time assist list behind John Stockton and Jason Kidd. So, Shannon, where does CP3 rank among your all-time point guards?
Well, I mean, I don't see how he gets in the top 3. Magic is number 1. I don't think anybody's passing the Magic. Steph Curry is number 2. Isaiah Thomas for me is number 3. I got Jason Kidd at 4, and I got put CP3 at 5.
What about, did you say Stockton?
I didn't say Stockton.
How can you not?
Easy. I just did it. See, Magic, Steph Curry, Isaiah Kidd.
Do you realize how far ahead he is of everybody in assists, including Chris Paul? Yep. It's like absurdly far ahead of him.
Even if I would have him on my list, he ain't in the top 3. Stockton was not better than Magic. He's not better than Steph Curry. And he's definitely not better than Isaiah Thomas.
But he's better than Chris Paul.
Okay, well, that's my list.
It's your list. I give it to you. Go.
I got Jason Kidd, I got Chris Paul. And I don't know how Chris Paul gets into the top 3 unless he wins a championship and wins a Finals MVP. And I still don't see how he passes Isaiah Curry and Magic. So the best for me is he can maybe swap places with Jason Kidd. That's the best. That's the best he can do on my list.
Okay, I got you. I have never been the biggest Chris Paul fan. He's had anger management problems and gone below the belt on opponents too many times for me. And I'm like, where does that come from? I admire what he's done as the head of the Players Association off the court.
Okay.
And he's been exemplary. So I give you that, but it gets undercut by, what was that? What was that? And I've thought for years that he was actually better known for the State Farm ads, playing both Cliff and Chris, than he was for what he did on the court.
Okay.
Where he won me over, not all the way, but where he opened my eyes was that Game 6 at Staples against the Clippers. I have never seen anything like that guy. And maybe it was just one night, but it was as glorious as you can get because down the stretch, the last 90 seconds of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, he scored 27 points to get to 41 for the game. He hit 7 of 8 three-point shots. He took the game over from a hot Clippers team that I thought, even without Kawhi, I thought they were finals bound at that point. And he said, no, it's over. And I thought he played pretty well in the finals. Obviously, they did not win. I didn't like their strategy guarding Giannis, but he played pretty well. So he rose way up my list. But I've never been the biggest fan of his. So I've got Magic, Steph, and Stockton at the top. And then I got Kidd. I got to put Oscar up there because he was a point guard.
So Isaiah ain't on the list.
I got Isaiah next. And I've got the glove in there. Listen, Gary Payton was really, I'll take Gary Payton just on edge, nastiness, defense, and the ability to distribute and score the basketball. And then finally, I got Tony Parker ahead of Chris Paul because you forget how many big games he came. Listen, he was the finals MVP for a reason against your Cleveland Cavaliers of LeBron in the early stages. So I got him 9th on my list. And so I got him in the top 10. And there was a long time I couldn't even think of him as a top 10 point guard until he did that. He's always been more of a pass-first point guard. But when you can score 27 in barely a quarter to close out the Clippers at Staples, that was special to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can make the case, but I think we are in agreement that 1 and 2 is universal. Magic and Steph Curry.
Yep.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'm alive long enough to see someone that can challenge those two guys for the top spot.
Yep. I'm just surprised you discount Stockton that much.
You know what the guy I did discount was Oscar. I forgot all about Oscar Robertson.
Okay. Well, he was more of a point forward.
He was.
So, but he was the ball handler.
Nothing about him said point guard because he was big.
6'5" for his time. He was really big.
But here's the thing, Skip. As far as weight, he wasn't like a typical point guard. Yes.
Nope, he was.
He was. So I don't even, like you said, I don't even look at him like a point. They say that's his title, but he was really like a forward.
And he invented triple-doubles.
Triple-double, yes. Yeah. And he's like, it wasn't a thing, or he would have tried to get more. He could have got more of them. It's a lot of things, Skip. I didn't think about no 100-yard games or targets and catches. You know, now all of a sudden, that's a big thing now.
I agree.
But Magic, I got Magic, Curry, Isaiah. I think I might be the biggest Isaiah fan because I thought Isaiah was...
I buy it. I agree. But I want to congratulate Chris because to get to 3rd all-time, That's something.
Guess who else going to be in the top 5? Go, James.
Oh, really?
How that going to happen? A man going to be 40,000 points in top 5 in assists, and you going to say he not the GOAT.
And he's still the phony GOAT.
Then you a hater. That's what you are.
In the conversation every single time. No mercy. The Rams ended up parting ways with Desean Jackson yesterday after Los Angeles was unable to find a trade partner for the 34-year-old wide receiver. Jackson caught just 8 passes for 221 yards and a touchdown in the 7 games he played for the Rams this season. So, Shannon, how surprised are you that the Rams got him?
I'm not surprised at all, Skip, considering that they were looking for a trade partner. The emergence of Van Jefferson made Desean Jackson expendable. It cut into his playing time. He wanted an opportunity to play more. And Van Jefferson, he's a younger guy, and they want to take a look at him, and he's played very, very well. I just don't know where he can go. Get the playing time with the targets on a contending team that's going to keep him happy.
He turns 35 on December 5th. So I'm not sure he's going to play any more football. And I like Desean. I've had my issues with him before. But he made one mistake, and one big mistake. He went public with his grievance.
Yes.
And once you do that, you become more trouble than you're worth. Because he had one shining moment with 75 yards against Tampa, right?
Yeah.
And for a touchdown, and Coach McYay runs all the way up the tunnel to congratulate him. And that ended up being, he'd come home. He's from here, obviously went to Long Beach Poly.
And I'm thinking they didn't know Van Jefferson was going to progress this fast, this quickly. And it made, cut the D-Jack's reps.
All right, Skip Shannon, good stuff today. We're back same time tomorrow. The Herd is on now. Have a good rest of your day.